Hey, what's going on, guys? It's TrekYT here, or Nick, back with another base showcase, and today is actually a pretty good episode. I think that this episode will fulfill a decent amount of people. So I know a lot of people out there have been asking for a 32 by 32 base. Exactly everything has to be in the 32 by 32 basically, and then a lot of people wanted there to be a quick little grinder in the center, so I did that just today. And this also has a absolute crap ton of storage. And also, I've also been seeing, you guys, I just want to mention before, I've seen the comments about hardcore faction base. I'll try to work out one for the next one. I want to try to find something pretty creative for the next video. For base showcase, I'll try to do a hardcore faction base. But without further ado, let's just jump right into today's episode of base showcase. So since I wanted to try to do basically a pretty decent base, and I wanted to make it 32 by 32, and I know that a lot of people wanted a grinder like in it or in the center of it, so I kind of did that. So this base is extremely symmetrical. It's pretty much, I almost, if I really wanted to, I mean, there's a little bit that's not that symmetrical, but for the most part, if I wanted to, each quarter of this base, so if I cut this up, so from like here all the way over there to there is all like, let's consider that one corner. If I wanted to, I could copy and paste all those in all four quarters, and they're basically all identical. So this base is very symmetrical, but I think it still looks really cool because there's definitely some unique parts of it that are pretty organic. Like these parts right here, I made sure all these little divots down here are all their own shape, and then if you come up here, then it goes back to the symmetry thing. So you kind of are standing in an open room. There's really not too much different. So we've got an absolute crap ton of storage, and the way you get up to that storage is by climbing up this ladder, and you can access the top 3 set of protected chests. Now, I know that these protected chests are not how a lot of people would protect them, so that's why I left them here, and you guys can, if you want to, when you download the schematic, put the right kind of protection that you feel that these chests over here need, and if so, you can even make the base a little bit bigger and then go out a little farther if you need to. But it is only a 2 wide, so if you were to break this block and this block, you can see right there, that's the edge of the 32 by 32 base. So at that point, you guys would kind of have to go ahead and do a little bit of, I guess, changing of the base to make it more fit yourself. But that's hopefully what you guys are going to do anyways. You guys can take this as a schematic and then change to the parts that you think that are imperfect to your needs, and you can change those as well. So we have all 4 of these spots on the outside that are for chests, and I actually put the same kind of ceiling on all of these, on all 4 of these quarters. But I think the ceiling itself, since it's so organic and so, I guess, cool looking, I think that having them all be the same doesn't really matter. I think for the most part, if I were to look at this quickly and look at this one, they almost look different for the most part. So they're almost organic in their own way. So I think that these actually look pretty cool. And what I wanted to go for with the theme is this is kind of like an underground cave, but like a cold, like snowy underground cave. Like the above ground up there is going to be like, basically it'd be frozen. So this is like a cave basically in like a tundra or like the winter, the Arctic or something along those lines. So that's what I was kind of going for. So that's why everything is very stone and kind of cold looking, like the colors are almost cold. I wanted to give it that feel. That's why there's no grass or anything like that in here. And I just want to try to switch up the theme of the base a little bit. I asked for a little bit of your suggestions on Twitter. If you guys don't already follow me on Twitter, you guys should. That's where I go ahead and I ask a lot of people what they would like to see in base showcases, or that's where I communicate a lot with my fans. So on all 4 of these edges though, I tried to make them a little bit different. So we have drop chest over here and then drop chest over here. So I figure you would either put your F home or your home set on one of these 2 right here. So that way when you come to your home, boom, you can just turn over and dump all your loot in here and then go back to whatever raid that you're at. And then on the opposite sides, I put some anvils just over here, and you could put your repaired armor over here in this little chest. None of these buttons on the wall do anything. They're all just for decoration, as well as these redstone torches that I made not lit. Those are also just for decoration, so don't worry about those. They are just there to look cool. And then I also put ourselves a little bit of an enchanting table as well over here. If you want to, you could get rid of one of these I guess, drop chests over here, and you could turn them into like a brewing station or an auto brewer, really whatever suits your need. That's what's, I guess, awesome about these base showcases is I give you almost a template for something to build. I give you like the mass part of it to make the good stuff look kind of good, and then I give you the opportunity and spaces to fulfill those with things that are more set towards your needs, because not everyone has the same situation, and I can't build for every single person and have them like ask me for something specific and build that for them, because then that wouldn't be fair for everyone else, as well as it would be kind of difficult to build a base for every single person that wanted one. So that's kind of why I try to build a general idea, get everyone's consensus, and then try to put all their ideas into one, and I then just build the base. So that's where we got this base out of today. Then lastly, we have in the middle, we have the grinder. They would flow all the way from up here, so realistically you could put the spawners like above this block up here, and then they fall all the way down here. So this could be a blaze grinder, skeleton, really anything other than I think creeper grinder for the most part could go in here, and I think that it would work pretty well. So I like the idea of it being in the center as well, so that way people can come at it from all angles, and I like it being a 2x2 also because it makes it so if I'm on this side, I can still hit the guy that's on that side as well. So, and there's nothing crazy for storage, just a chest on each side, nothing too cray, because I would assume this is more for XP rather than for materials. I mean, if it's like a blaze, it could be for materials, but for the most part, I was just having this going to be an XP grinder. So from like the design portion of this base, when I was tackling this, I built this centerpiece first. I really like the idea of how this looked. I added all this wood stuff on afterwards because I always like to try to have a kind of like not a flat ceiling, just kind of have something a little bit, I don't know, just something a little bit different, something that looks a lot more attractive to the eye. So I had these columns that I built out, and then I built them down like this, and then I kind of started to fill in the empty space. So I filled in this gap, I filled all this stuff in, and I think it turned out pretty good. If there's any parts that you guys think would have used, I guess, a little bit of changing, just definitely let me know down below. I definitely like to hear your guys' opinions on not just the, I guess, function of the base, but like just critiquing the build part. I know a lot of you guys come here just to take the build and then leave. I would also just love to hear what you guys think is good and bad and where I could go in the future when it comes to building these bases. So I give one last little walkthrough of the base. We got all our protected chests on all four corners. We've got this little walkway up here, especially I even put posts all the way up to make it a little bit more realistic, like it's not just floating in the air. Every time you add some physics to Minecraft, it does definitely make a build look a lot better instead of just having something floating in the middle of the air. On the side, we have our enchant over there, drop chest over here, and then lastly, we have the anvils over here. And then obviously, we have the spawner right in the center. If you guys did enjoy today's episode of Base Showcase, definitely let me know down below as always. I definitely really enjoy doing this series, and I'm going to try to do one of these as often as possible. I'm thinking like once a week or once every 2 weeks, whatever schedule I can kind of get on, or at least every third upload. So I'll upload like 2 videos, then do a base showcase or something, because it's just something that I really kind of enjoy doing, and it just allows me to just freely build and then after the fact come back and record a video on it. And I know a lot of you guys out there enjoy that, and a lot of you still are playing factions, and even though I do not. So as always, guys, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.
Can we skip to the good part?